Welcome back, everyone. I have now with me Zach Madrigal, if I said that correctly.
You sure did, Carol.
Okay, and Zach, you've been on my show a few times now before. This will be your third time. You are the owner of Schooley Mitchell. You also have someone with you. You want to tell you who you have with you?
I have my esteemed colleague, Charlie Bew.
Okay,
Hi,
and
Carol.
Please tell everybody a little bit about what Schooley Mitchell is and sort of the history behind it. Listen up, everyone. This is very important and really, really good information.
Well, Carol, thanks for having us on today. Schooley Mitchell is a company that's been in business since about 1980, and we have franchises, about 300 franchises across North America, Canada, and the U.S., have about 18,000 clients, and in the last 30 years have saved, Zach, what's the exact number right now on how much savings we provided to clients?
We're a little over $280 million.
Right.
Wow.
$280 million.
Right.
And how do you do that?
Well, we go into a business, be it a small business or a large business. We look at their entire telecom environment, be it telephones, internet services, wireless services, and credit card processing, emergent services. We also look at their environment regarding small package shipping, anything under 150 pounds. We gather up bills, we see what they're currently spending, we look at their current contracts, and we look for savings, whether it be overbillings, over provisions, or mistaken bills and things like that, and then we go ahead and devise options for the customer to choose from to save them money. The good thing is we don't charge any upfront fees at all. We only charge the customer if we can find savings, and then it's a portion of that savings.
And so people need to see that this is basically a free service to them until, obviously, if you find savings for them, which how often do you find that?
We find savings that are off the chart. It's interesting. I'll just give you an example. We're working with a local physician's oncology practice. They have 24 locations, and we found about $30,000 in merchant card services, credit card processing for copays that was off the chart. And so we found errors, we found overage, we found missed pricing, we found interchange optimization challenges. We found all kinds of things. And we're not we're going to switch carriers with these guys, but that's a big chunk of money.
Sure.
And the CFO basically fell off his chair when we told him.
You know, and I was telling someone today about you that you will go in, and when you talk, you could even check out like their phone system and see some people. I remember the last time that you were on, you were telling the story that some people have lines that they're not even using now, and they're still paying for them because they don't go and check. They're not thinking about those things.
Yep, absolutely. So there's another example of a physician's office that had 15 lines coming in, and one of them is the main line that when patients call to set up appointments and things like that, they go to the main line. The lines behind that, all their staff and their other physicians and nurses and stuff, do they need to have call waiting, music on hold?
That was it.
Call forwarding? Do they need to have any of that stuff? Well, you're paying for that. And we microanalyze, we optimize, we analyze what your entire system is. Now, we don't sell systems. We don't sell any processing equipment. We don't sell any shipping equipment. We basically analyze and scrutinize and hold these vendors accountable to make sure that you are absolutely paying the lowest price possible and you're optimized correctly. And so that's a fantastic service. And like Charlie said, there's no fees at all of what we charge up front. We get a small percentage of what we find. We're so focused on reducing the cost, and that's how we do it.
Carol, this is something that's not done just on a one-time basis. Once we sign a client up, we do all the optimization options provided to the customer. They make the choice, and then we continue the analysis and continue with the optimization every single month and provide them a quarterly update as to what we're finding, so we can find additional savings through the 3 or 5 year contract period. So we're working for them on a continuous basis.
Yeah.
Now, you want to check them out on their website, which is Schooley, which is SCHOOLEY, Mitchell with 2 L's.com, /Z Madrigal, and I will spell that out. It's ZMADRIGAL. Rigal. But you know what? They do free consultations. Call them up. Their phone number is 602-677-7804. But I've also got my lines open here for everybody because they're going to do they do everything for free, really, up front. Everything is really for free. It's a consultation. It's a microanalyzation. That's what I'm going to call it. I love that when you wrote that, when you said that, I wrote it down. But this is on site, and we've got our lines open here. And maybe it's you, maybe you know somebody, maybe you work for somebody, and you're saying, gosh, maybe if I tell my boss about this, he might save some money. This would be cool. So you can call in here. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. I'm going live on Facebook with you guys too right now. So we're live. Thank you for watching, follow, and everything that you see here, you can also call in as well. So for now, basically what you just said is huge, really. I mean, microanalyzing someone's complete business where you can save them money on places where they probably don't even realize that they're spending money.
Well, that's the point. It's what we're doing is we're providing them a service that they're not doing for themselves. You'd have to hire somebody on a full-time basis to be looking through line by line on their bills every single. Who has the time to do that? Unless you're a big Fortune 50 company and you have auditors that do that, they don't have time to do that. So we free them up to do what they do best, and that is whatever area of expertise they're in, and we cover all the business on the back end to save them money regularly.
And again, it's free to the customer. Tell them how you get paid.
Absolutely. So what we do is we come in there, we do an audit, analysis, and optimization. It takes about 6 or 7 weeks to do this. We come back and we provide a value report, which is a full report on all their systems, all their charges, everything. And they can be 80 pages long. They're typically around 30 to 40 pages, but they're really a deep analysis of everything. And there's summary pages and there's charts. So we can get right to the point and say, listen, this is what we've been able to find. These are the errors. This is the overage. This is how we can save money. And we benchmarked it with 3 other competitors with an RFP, a request for proposal. So we did a best and final pricing. We benchmarked it to the market. So you're getting right here the best possible price, and you're optimized to meet your business needs.
Any kind of business, any kind of size?
Any types of business, small, medium, and large. We do it all. And another thing we just launched too is our telecom expense management. So you have a business and you have cell phones that you provide your people out in the field, either technicians or salespeople. How do you monitor and manage to make sure that they're not going overage on their minutes, on their data? How do you do that? We have tools and technology to help people do that. And a lot of times it depends. We can add that included into our service. So it's a great tool for people that really want to manage these costs.
So you can call them direct. That phone number is 602-677-7804. But I've got my lines open here for everybody we're going to give it to everybody because it's free anyway. And it's a microanalyzation really for your business. It doesn't matter what size at all. They can help you save money most likely. And so it's a consultation that you get. It's on site, and you get lunch as well with that. So again, our number here, 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Okay, I want to go like this. So bottom line, let's talk about results, because that is what everybody wants to know about.
Absolutely. So I'll just give you this example that happened less than 30 days ago, real-world results. And this is going back to this very large oncology practice where we're looking at their merchant card services. We're looking at their wireless because their physicians have cell phones. They have MiFi units when they're in their remote areas. And then, of course, they have their landlines or their wired lines in their offices. And so we just reported out $30,000 savings. We have now a new report that we're going to be presenting this week, which is significant. I can't give the number out right now, but it's very large. And we have the wire line that's going to come out, and we know it's definitely north of $25,000.
So a small business.
This is a medium-sized business.
I want to talk about small businesses. So as an example, let's say I own a business and I work maybe even out of my house. I have Cox, I have a phone, I have whatever it would be. Can you come into somebody's business and show them maybe where they're, like something like as small as that, one owned person, sole proprietor, that can you do that?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, Carol, I've got a client that I just signed up recently. They're basically a four-man operation. Two sole owners, and what they do is they sell Medicare supplemental plans to people all over the southwestern states. Now, they don't have sales reps. They don't who they pay their cell phone bills and things like that, but they do have significant wireless, and they have a lot of phone lines coming in because they're getting phone calls from people all the time. So they don't do merchant card processing, so I won't bother them with that. So it's mainly telephone and internet service, and maybe some small package shipping as well. Now, we're not going to be able to save them the kind of money that we saved this cancer center in town.
Right, but they're smaller.
Absolutely, and the savings is savings.
And savings is savings. I was just going to say that. We've got our lines open here for everyone to get this microanalyzation. Our number here, 602-277-5369. Welcome back, everyone. So we're talking with Zach, who owns Schooley Mitchell, and I wanted to know how you got started, but I know it goes by so fast, so I know you've got some new services that you're offering. So let's talk a little bit about how you got started. I also want you to make sure that people understand that you're not here like a merchant services, that you know, it's completely different than that. Please clarify all of that too.
Sure. So just to go back a little bit of how we started. Dennis Schooley and Philip Mitchell started Schooley Mitchell in, I think, 1975. They commercialized it in 1980. They were staff accountants at PricewaterhouseCoopers in Ontario, Canada, and they were asked to do deep audits in telecommunications. And from there, they came up with technology and analytic tools and all kinds of things along the way to fine-tune their analysis. And 10 years ago, we launched Merchant Card Services, which is a credit card processing, and we're real excited. In December of this past year, we just launched small package shipping and courier services. So it's the same style of format. We get their invoices, we get their statements, we get their contracts, and they would be contracting with something like a UPS or DHL or FedEx. And if you're using these services and you have a contract, how do you even know that you're paying the right amount? And let me throw this out to you. If you have a package or a package that needs to be overnighted to another part of the town here, from Scottsdale to Glendale, and it's supposed to be there at 10 a.m. and it gets there at 11, what happens? Well, you're just happy that they got there. But guess what? You're fully, you should be able to recoup all that money because it didn't meet the contracted rate to be there at 10 o'clock in the morning. We help get that money back. So when we do these 90-day audits, we do these audits throughout the service agreement every 90 days. We find that we get that money back for you, so that you can. So you're
fighting for the client to help them recoup money or save them money.
Absolutely, and we don't get paid unless we bring savings to you. So we do a ton of work. I mean, a ton of work. We have 85 business analysts that do this back-end production work for us. Nobody gets paid until we find savings for you. So we're not motivated by increasing margin or selling anything else. We want to reduce your costs.
So, Carol, it's important to remember that, again, we're not agents for any telecom company.
I was just going to say.
We don't sell equipment. We are completely agnostic. We look at the entire market, and when we offer options to our clients once we've found some cost savings, we try our best not to move them from one provider to another, because that's difficult. You may have a long-term relationship with Cox or AT&T, and you may want to stay there, and that's fine. About 70% of our clients, we stay with their incumbent providers. We just extract more savings from those providers.
Well, we want you to also make sure that you understand that for you, there's really no upfront cost whatsoever. If they're finding you, obviously, money where they're saving, you're going to be very happy to do whatever that is. It's probably minimal as well. So again, we've got our lines open here, and they're going to do a microanalysis analyzation for you. It's a free consultation on site. You also get lunch with that because they want to come in. They need to come into the businesses. It doesn't matter what size, any size business. You need to have somebody you need to be doing your work while they save you money.
Any business that does internet, does telephone, works with computers, does credit card processing, ships, anything like that, or all of the above, they're good candidates.
So our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. You could check them out on their website, and it's Schooley, Schooley, Mitchell with 2 L's.com, and it's /Z Madrigal, Madrigal. And basically, you're a franchise owner, so that's why you have to have that there. I'm going to just say it. Let's get it out right now.
We are. But the nice thing about this is we have a wealth of information. We have 300 plus people that we have access to that are all classified experts, and I have 85 people that are working specifically for us to help manage our production back end and to help find cost savings. And one thing we haven't talked about is how do we get started?
Well, we did.
Did we?
Yes, but I do want to ask you this one real quickly. Do you specialize in any certain area or not?
We actually specialize in healthcare. So small hospitals, rehab centers, physicians' offices, durable medical equipment companies, oxygen companies, home health, infusion. But you know what, Carol, to be honest with you, anybody that has a subset of phones, they're using credit card processing equipment, and they're shipping or they're sending small packages here and there that are under 150 pounds, we certainly can help them also, and we would love to. It would be our honor.
Okay, and again, so many people you should be doing business while they can help you save money in an area that you don't even think about. And I was just talking about this to somebody, I don't remember who it was, where people don't look at their phone bills all the time, and they don't call up all the time and say, hey, how can you save me money this month? There's just no way they're doing it. Yeah. So you can do that for them.
Yeah, Carol, let me paint this picture, and also for the readers or the listeners out here. I have 5 people in my family, and we all have cell phones, and I pay the bill. When was the last time me, or if you out there, have microanalyzed all those charges, everything, the government fees, the regulatory fees, the disposal fees, any type of fee that's with there? How many times have you actually analyzed that and do it every 90 days to make sure that you are paying the lowest cost possible?
And by the way, by you sitting there doing that, it costs you money because you're not doing your business. Having someone else do it for you, and there's no cost unless they find something, it's a win-win.
Absolutely. When my car breaks down, I don't bring out my toolkit and go in my car and start fixing things. I call an expert that knows what they're doing to get it done right the first time and to manage that. That
number to call them is 602-677-7804. But we've got our lines open here, and everyone's going to get a free microanalyzation consultation on site. That's what's within your business, and it gets lunch as well. The number here is 602-277-5369. What do they need to get started?
That's a good question, Carol. It's actually rather simple, surprisingly simple. We meet with the customer. We talk to them about their business. We want to know about what their growth plans are, what their current telecommunications environment is, if they have any issues and things like that. So we get familiar with them. And then we get a signed service agreement, which allows us to act on their behalf. Now, again, there are no upfront fees, and it's spelled out in the agreement. So we get that signed. It's about a page and a half long. And then we get letters of authorization, which allows us to communicate with all of their providers on their behalf. We don't have the ability to make changes in their contracts or their accounts. We just have the ability to contact them on their behalf. And then we go ahead and collect at least 3 months' worth of bills, and we also get a copy of the contracts for each one of their providers, be it telephone, internet, that sort of thing. And then we go through the production process where we send all this information back to Stratford, Ontario, Canada, where all of our little elves, I like to call them, do all this work, all the hard, heavy lifting to find out where the savings are. And then in about 4 to 6 weeks, we present them with the value report, which, as Zach intimated, It goes over 2 or 3 potential options. It shows them what they're currently spending, what they're currently getting, and where we can save them money, either with their incumbent providers or we look at the broader market. If they're not happy with AT&T and AT&T is not willing to reduce their fees, we can look at other providers and move them to another provider. Keep in mind the client makes all the final decisions. We don't do anything unless the client gives us written express permission to make those changes.
And again, it's a free service to them out there, and you do this every 3 months.
We analyze them every 3 months, but and if they also want to switch over and there's some significant savings by going with another provider, our entire team handles that from the beginning to the end. So we take care of all that. We have implementation. We have Six Sigma folks that follow these protocols and implementation models, and so we handle the whole thing, and we own it. So at the end of the day, it all gets done. They sign off on it when it's up and going.
I don't understand why nobody just doesn't. Everybody doesn't just.
Everybody should be doing this. I just wanted to mention this cancer center that we're working with. Their information tech, on our initial meeting with them, the IT person was there, and he started shaking his head, and we said, do you have any questions? He said, yeah. He said, this would be a godsend because my CenturyLink bill alone, and he held up his hand, is about 1/2 inch. My CenturyLink bill alone is that thick every single month. He said, I don't have time to go through line by line by line to make sure that these fees are correct. I've got to be fixing people's computers and fixing their cell phones and getting them up on email. That's my job. He said, if you guys do this for me, I'm all in.
Wow, that's awesome. Yep. So again, let's talk about the smaller company out there so they know what, the kind of people you would work with. Go ahead.
So small companies, a pool company, actually we're meeting with they happen to be a very large pool company, one of the second largest in the United States, but pool companies, if they're having their staff and their team out there, their technicians handling the pools, and they're on cell phones and they're on iPads, and let us take a look at that. Let's make sure that you're optimized. Let's make sure that you're paying the lowest cost possible. There's a lot of different ways to grow a business, and one of them is obviously bringing new customers in. Another one is not letting your money leave, and if it's leaving, you want to make sure it's optimized and that's the lowest cost possible.
We've got everyone that's going to get, because it's all free. It's a micro-analyzation. It's a free consultation on site right at your business with a lunch. Our number here, call us now, 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100.
If I traded it all